Hey, all, welcome back to another episode of the Everyday Wholeness Show with the amazing, remarkable, fantabulous Janet Uribe and myself, Karen Stultz, where we help or at least guide or inform or whatever.
Did you want awesome life back there? I had to ask.
Well, you know what? We were talking earlier. Anyway, back what the Wholeness Show is. The Wholeness Show is to help us all recognize our wholeness and to be fair and honest about what goes on before the Wholeness Show gets started. Is that Janet and I were talking about me and how I wanted to move forward. So I thought, you know what? Normally I would change my background here. And then I thought, no, I'm moving forward. And my business is the Awesome Life Success System for online coaches to release self-doubt and move forward and create a path to six-figure business. That's part of my wholeness. That's what brings me joy. And so I thought about it, and Janet just said, do you really want it there? And I said, yeah, I really do, Janet. I want it there.
I'm glad you put it there, girl. You look, you guys look at weird, like you have a beautiful backgrounds all the time. I'm just like, we are where we are today.
and you always have beautiful backgrounds. Now, with that said, I do need to make a background for the Everyday Wholeness Show. And I realized that if I did that, I would have my head right in the middle of the wholeness. So
Well, isn't that what gets in the way of our whole?ness every time anyway?
Getting our head in the way. That's right. I love it. So today, Janet and the guides came up with a wonderful talk that we're going to be sharing of, well, Janet, do you want to? It looks like it might have shifted a little bit.
It has. It's actually still the same thing I'm hearing. So what paradigm and reality are you feeding?
Okay, I love it. What paradigm and reality are you feeding? And when we talk about paradigms, what are we talking about, Janet?
We're talking about the belief systems that you really develop attachment to. You know, that appears, I don't care who you are, self included, that appears in many areas of our life because you have attachment paradigms and beliefs related to friends, related to money, related to thinking, related to your emotions, related to your social life, related to your work life, related to your children, related to your political beliefs, your religion, non-religion, whatever it is, you have paradigms, belief systems, realities built around what you feed to every one of those areas of life.
And so, we do, don't we? We feed one over another. That actually sounds a little bit like the coaching circle, the wheel of life that is used quite a lot.
Yeah, and
all of these different things.
Yeah, and as we're saying that, I'm going to tell you, because I had, Karen, earlier when we met, I was telling you, I had this idea of what we're going to meet. And then I went to the bathroom very quickly. It's about to get graphic, friends. And, I've been tossing back coffee this morning quite a bit.
Oh, she has a caffeine high, guys. She's got a caffeine high.
Really, really hyper today. I was just bouncing everywhere. And so as I went in there and I was like, whoa, I went to the restroom and I noticed that my urine was darker than usual. And I was like, surprised. Because usually I am pumping water back. All right. We're talking about a duality here. Like a very dark, not so hydrating beverage versus the light.
The water. Yeah.
So as we're sitting there, literally, I heard, this is what we're talking about today. And I started giggling. I'm like, we are not talking about my bathroom visit. And
guess what? We are.
We are. Too late. It already came out your mouth, Janet.
It's hydrating our soul, our wholeness, our wholeness. That's what wholeness is feeding our soul.
It absolutely.
And that's what we need to do more of.
Yeah. And what are you feeding it?
Yeah.
Because here I was, sometimes you'll be shocked about the reality you're creating present day. You'll be shocked. You'll be frustrated. You'll wonder, where are my friends? Where are my true connections? Where's my money that I've been wanting? Where is this? When really the internal dialogue, even though you may have started to train this more recently, the subconscious internal dialogue or the past karmic ancestral patterns that exist related to that will come and find you. And we as humans, as people, as this experience is related, will be shocked that our urine is darker when we drink coffee. And why isn't it lighter? Well, what are you feeding it?
And, it comes back to that awareness. We need to be aware of what we are doing. And so you can be surprised about something, as I am often surprised about different things, but looking at it as a curiosity, as what is this trying to tell us? How can it get better than this? I don't know, but I can't wait to find out, sort of thing. And really, I don't want to say analyzing it because that is from the head, but just seeing it as, well, this is a curiosity, and then making your choice that this may not be what you would like. So what can you do instead?
And I think that's the key, right? How can I actually take this tangibly and do something? What is it that I'm aware of or not aware of? And, my last couple mentors, my last two mentors, one of them still a current mentor, basically has this great exercise of, well, why don't you just write down how you feel about that topic? Why don't you write down what you really see in your reality as it relates to that topic? And why don't you write how you feel about that topic and give me a positive side and a negative side? Give me a good and a bad.
So making a listing, basically taking a piece of paper and putting a line through it, and the positive and the negative aspects.
Yeah. And it was great because she recently gave us an activity, and I'm aware that I happen to love people. It was about, how do you feel about people? And let me tell you what, I love people. You've heard me say this, friends. You've heard me say I love the villain and the saint.
Yeah.
But the balanced person is able to look at that in a way that is much more neutral.
Yeah.
When you write these lists, you aren't looking at judgment at what's on the good and at judgment what's on the bad. You're looking at it for what it is. What the reality or the paradigm or the belief system really is present day. And then you can take one item or one side and ask yourself, what are the events, the things, the bank accounts, the breakups, the connections, the difficulties, the obstacles, the barriers, the limits that I see related to this topic? And how did they get there?
That's a curious thing, because in actuality, I think a lot of these things came from years ago, past lives, so to speak.
And I agree, they came from past lives, but we'll bring them forward. We'll oftentimes bring them forward if it wasn't addressed in that other life. I call it other life because they're all now.
Yeah, they're just at different paradigms, different levels, right? It's all going on at the same time.
And so shift it in this life, you'll shift it in that one. You may have died chained to a wall, incarcerated in that lifetime, or prisoner, or whatever it may be. Change it in this one, change it in that one. The curriculum is ever evolving for us. Linear thinking or linear future past this is actually a limit as well. When really, when you consider, what do you have power of over here, now? Because you're not in that other life, you're here. You can help ease the mind with some understanding from that other life, absolutely. But unless we integrate that understanding into this life, do we really see the parallels of that curriculum that we design for ourselves to overcome?
That's a heck of a lot of responsibility, Janet. Come on. Come on, Janet. How
Well,
can we be whole if we take all of that responsibility? Come on.
I think that's just the point, is that we have the ability to respond.
Yeah. We have those choices, don't we? And it's
Yeah.
all part of being whole.
Yeah.
And it is what helps improve our lives, and also what can keep us stuck.
Yeah. So let's get a little deeper in this one. So let's assume that financially you have beliefs about money. One of my old beliefs is you've got to bust ass to make money. It does not grow on trees. It does not fall out of the sky. You have got to create systems. You have got to create clients. You have got to find ways, genius ways, work ways to make money. But what I've been noticing more and more as I do my journey is that when I just wake up and I stand in that knowing, even if it's for 10 seconds or 20 seconds in a day, and I have this about 10 to 20 seconds a day. Sometimes it can be more, sometimes less, of holy shit, I know who I am and what I came here to do. Then suddenly I have all these new clients in the pipeline.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So it comes down to what paradigm are we feeding for our wholeness? We need to feed that makes us, fills us, well, whether that be for money, for health, for relationships. It's what we are feeding, and we may be bringing in a lot of wonderfulness into our home financially, or health-wise, but our relationships are not very good.
Yeah. But let me tell you what, similarly, if you are basing your understandings of your why in you, even those change. Yeah. I live in a really peculiar, like a very interesting area. I have repeatedly had family house guests or, people from out of town visit, and they'll be like, Janet, you live like, this is like a Stepford's wives neighborhood. And this is, what is going on? You live here, you're like out the box and woo woo, and there are things about you don't fit here.
That's the outside looking in, but you also have neighbors, I understand, that are very much like you. They're just not out as much as you are.
Yeah, I have two neighbors, both of them on each side.
That are equally
as abled and gifted, or whatever you want to call this, right? And then the more I stand in the knowing of who I am, and I honor it, and I play that way, I find another one down the street. And then I find another one down the street. And then I find another one responding to some ad I placed to sell some tickets. And then I find another one and another one and another one. And by the way, I'm not looking for them.
That is what is so cool when you are open and whole and allowing.
Yeah.
And know what you want, your why you want it, what you want and why you want it. Yeah. That's when things start showing up with ease. And when I think about money, I think, yeah, it's easy. It's there. It's there. It wasn't filling up my pocket, but it's there, not an issue. It will show up. I know that.
And here's the thing, and I have struggled. We look at the body as our messenger. We look at the body as the huge indicator, the compass, the communicator of what's going on. And a pattern that I have had that used to be very severe, but now it randomly pops up in smidgets periodically, is I used to have severe asthma. It was diagnosed as COPD. And over the years, as I've done more of this work, it has eased and it has eased and it has eased. And I don't really require the level of attention with it that it used to have. But that constriction, even sometimes the pain that was correlated to it, was correlated to that subconscious feeding of, I can't breathe here. I can't live here. It's not safe here. I'm not creating the reality I want. I have crappy relationships. I don't see my friends. I don't rest well. I am unhealthy. I'm not doing well in my marriage. My business is starting to tank. Where's the money? So all of these areas of my life, if we're talking about that coaching wheel, were really constricted for a long time. But it wasn't until I started to pursue the true pursuit of why we're here, that self-actualizing yumminess of why we're here, that comes with both the pain and the pleasure, the joy and the sadness, the ego death and the ego rebirth. On repeat. On repeat, friends. Because sometimes
so cool.
That ego of mine is so cute.
Well, don't we all? I mean, the ego is actually a wonderful teacher.
She is sometimes.
A wonderful teacher. And you know, to really appreciate it and also find your strength to be able to say, well, I called my ego Amy because it's in the amygdala. So Amy, you're here to help me, or you're here to think that you're keeping me safe. But you know what? I want to move forward and you're keeping me back. So either come with me or bye-bye, step to the right.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes Amy is painting beautiful paintings and murals on the wall. And sometimes Amy is like throwing junk on the wall.
Exactly. Exactly.
When you use Amy to discern who you are, not what's been conditioned, trained, programmed to make Amy reactive, but really use her to identify those moments to be like, oh, that resonates, that does not. This is good, this is not. Oh, this is why I like to eat this food. This is why I don't like to eat this food. This is the kind of partner I want. This is not who I want. This is how I feel when I don't have money. This is how I feel when I do have money. So when we're using her constantly and identifying the self within it, then this is the coolest part, ladies and gentlemen, and anyone in between those labels, is that you get to just show up in life to be who you are. And then the job, the partner, the money, the friends, the activities, the body, the everything just naturally and organically results. But if you aren't pinpointing who you are, then the universe kind of has this obligation that you signed on to constantly show you. So if you happen to be, and right now the energy of these last couple of months has been very amplified. So I've been telling a lot of clients lately, like there is a lot of amplification going on. So if you noticed that your bank account was low this month, or if you noticed that something was missing this month, or if you noticed there was something you didn't like about a certain thing or someone this month, watch how you're feeding that. Watch how you're feeding it, because you will amplify it. Yeah. I was sitting here shocked that I went to the bathroom, had dark urine after 3 cups of coffee, because hello, I haven't even had my first cup of water. Don't be shocked. Just don't give it the emotion. Just witness.
Witness, exactly. No judgment necessary. It's just, oh, all right. I know what this is. Or I don't know what it is, but it will show up. The answer will show up. And I'm open to hearing it without judgment.
Yeah. And by the way, here's a nice little ticket. If you woke up to something missing in any of those areas of your life today, and you're like, you can't witness it. I'm going to tell you how you can. Look at it and just be like, oh yeah, that's just an indicator that I'm supposed to have that. The fact that I just felt something in my body, that slight discomfort or judgment, or like, oh, it's coming. The partner's coming. The money's coming. Well, guess what? ING means ing, future.
Yeah. And it never gets there in the future.
No, but use it just as a self-identifier. I know I don't like that because I'm actually meant to have it. Okay, meant to have it. And then you drop it. You get into the feeling, you get into the knowing of, I don't like it clearly because I like this. It's no different than you meet someone kind or not kind. You meet someone who's not kind, and you can feel that in your body. You want to like purge that stuff away. You don't like it. But you're not going to create that unkind person, invite them into your home, invite them onto your couch, let them move in, bring all of their luggage with it, and then somehow like, commune over meals and then really ingest all of that unkindness. No, you just witness it and you're like, oh yeah, I don't like people who are unkind. I don't feel great in that energy. Maybe I don't have judgment on whatever they're going, but I don't feel like myself immersed with resonance in that energy. That's because I happen to like kind people.
And that's not a judgment. There are people who prefer unkind people.
Yeah.
And what is kindness? It's all your own perspective of things.
Yeah.
So knowing those things, and just as you said, Janet, observe. We do not need to be in a place of judgment because everyone is different and everyone is unique. And everyone has that opportunity to shift and grow or not. It's all up to the individual if they want to change or not.
It's so true. And I guess that's your challenge, friends. I think I often assign homework. Where are you constricted in your life? And why are you constricted there? Because we'll often say, all right, I choose to unconstrict. I let it go. And I think some people refer to that, like, I don't remember what they refer to it as, maybe like spiritual bypassing or something. I don't know what they call it. Whatever it is or isn't. The idea being part of that wholeness is getting into the depth of that why, because it actually helps self-identify and self-actualize yourself. Which, by the way, is why we're here.
We're here to be whole, guys. We're here to be whole. And I want to thank you all for joining Janet and I each week and understanding, and hopefully let us know if we are sharing information that would be beneficial to you, that is beneficial to you. And if it's not, please share that as well so that we can shift and grow ourselves, because we're all in this world together. We're all whole in every area of our life. And if it isn't feeling that way, what paradigm of reality are you feeding?
Dang, girl. Dang, Karen.
Until next time, be whole.
Bye, friends.